Hi and welcome to S.Chablis. We're back with the Q&A this week talking about glass. Indeed, I had a question. Is glass that important? We're going to talk about that in a few seconds. I'll see you then. Hi and welcome to S.Chablis. I hope you had a wonderful week. We're back for the Q&A and indeed we are going to talk about glass. Now glass is, in my opinion, quite important, and I received a question which is glass that important? Which is actually fitting. So is glass that important? I'm going to say yes. Yes, it is important, and for many different reasons. One of them being the shape. You know that if you're in Alsace, if you're in Burgundy, if you're in the south of France, you might tend to have different shapes of glasses, and that's probably because they're better for the type of wine. Now, that's part of a tradition. I tend to get out of a tradition because I want a good glass that makes me able to taste and experience everything in a wine. That's why at S.Chablis I use this kind of glass, which is pretty standard. Well, a bit of a funny shape, not as usual as always, but still a different shape. But something quite large at the bottom, something quite thin at the top, and the glass itself is pretty thin. I could also use this. This is the other type of glass I use at S.Chablis, which is purely for water, i.e. I don't use them that often. So again, it is glass. It is from a big maker, it is quite thick, it is quite short, it doesn't have the same shape, and we're going to see why it's that important by the end. So in the way we are talking about glass, we could use different material. We could use plastic, we could use glass, we could use crystal, we could use carton, and we could use crystalline. The glasses I tend to use are from crystalline, which is halfway between glass and crystal. That's at least the answer I have in my mind. If you're glass, material specialist, you can maybe elaborate on that. And the reason why I use that is because, first of all, you got a beautiful sound with it. It's not crystal, so it's not that expensive. Still, it's not as cheap as glass. And it's not plastic. Plastic on the lips is not really nice. Cardboard is not that nice, and cardboard most of the time tends to leave some kind of taste. So again, I would probably go for glass, crystalline, or crystal as a glass, as a container. Now, the other thing is the thickness. You've noticed that between those two glasses, the basic main difference is the thickness of a glass. And when you bring that to your lips, it's always a lot more enjoyable to have something fairly thin. And that's probably the trouble I have with some glasses that are really cheap, which is a basic good deal if you, just like me, own a wine bar, because you tend to bring so many glasses. But something thin is always much more pleasurable on the lips. Do try that at home and you will feel the difference. Now, is that the only reason? One reason that's always forgotten is the cleanliness of a glass. Because you can have the best wine glass ever, you need a proper clean glass. Because when you wash them, if they're not cleansed, if they're not rinsed properly, then you're going to have, well, maybe a bit of a smell of the previous wine, or maybe the smell of the box it was packaged in, or maybe even the smell or the taste of the washing detergent you're using. So be sure to clean them properly and check. That's why when you come and taste here, or when I taste at home, you will always see me, before serving, have on an empty glass a quick sniff. Wait a second. Mesdames, Messieurs, bonjour. Mesdames, Messieurs. Sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm just finishing a video and I'm with you in a second. Yeah?
Okay.
Alright?
Cool.
Cheers. So again, glasses.
Cheers.
The type of glass is going to be important, the material of the glass is going to be important, the thickness of the glass is important, and then the reason why we've got a stem is to prevent smells from your wrist because you're using perfume, and also not to bring too much heat to the glass. If you're taking this one, well, you see immediately that I'm holding glass probably like that, so the wine is going to go up in temperature, which is not going to happen there. So the one thing that could be good sometimes, it might not be good all the time, so be careful and probably drink wine with a proper glass. Now that could be the last reason, but think about tasting. When tasting, you're going to use different gestures, and when you use those different gestures, you should always be careful. Now here's an example. This is purely water, this is purely for the experiment. This is a wine glass, so one of the moves you're going to do as a wine expert is mix the liquid to add some air. When you do so, you don't actually do anything bad, you just bring some air, and when you smell, you've got some kind of concentration there. Now let's do the same thing. So this one was actually tasting like chlorine. That's tap water for you. And now let's do the same thing with a normal standard water glass, and you're going to do the same. Yeah, the exact same thing, and you're going to spill water everywhere because it doesn't have the same shape. And then you don't smell anything, which again can be good for bad wines, but it's not what you're looking for in a good tasting glass. There you go. Apart from the thingy here, I hope you are going to have a wonderful week. I hope I answered your question. If you've got some more, do follow S.Chablis on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and send over those questions. I will try to pick one and answer every week. I hope you're going to have a wonderful week, and bye next time. Keep on tasting. Bye bye.